Thank you, Doctor, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are very blessed to work with men and women in our great state who feel as we do here today that we should love one another, be more understanding, and help one another through our lives. I, for one, serve with 30 other men and women senators, one of which, Kel Seliger, Chairman Kel Seliger, Senator Seliger, is of the Jewish faith and a close friend. Another young man who joins us here today is one of our state leaders and does an incredible job for the Texas Water Development Board. My dear friend, our dear friend, Carlos Rubenstein. Thank you, Carlos, for being with us here today. I'm very pleased to co-host this event with my son, Eddie Lucio III, Representative Lucio III, on behalf of the Global Embassy of Activists for Peace. Their mission promotes peace to strengthen the principles of love for life, respect for human dignity, tolerance, equality, justice, and solidarity, in addition to emphasizing the peaceful resolution of conflicts. Thank you to Dr. Bruno Harton Cooper for coordinating this event. Traces to Remember is under the leadership of recognized global peace activist Dr. William Soto Santiago, who is relentless in the pursuit of a better society. Thank you for honoring the Texas Capitol with this traveling exhibition. Let's give him another round of applause. Shortly, we will be honored with the testimony of Holocaust survivor Leon Horn of Brownsville, Texas, recipient of the nation's first Traces to Remember commemorative plaque. And let's give him another round of applause. This week, in the Texas Senate, I will author a resolution recognizing the dedicated efforts of this organization through the Traces to Remember initiative, which is devoted to safeguarding the living testimony of Holocaust survivors as a method to prevent the repetition of one of the saddest and most tragic events in human history. Senate Resolution 49 reads as follows. Whereas the Senate of the State of Texas is pleased to welcome Dr. William Soto Santiago and Mr. Leon Horn to the State Capitol for a special Traces to Remember ceremony on January the 26th, 2015. And whereas Traces to Remember is an initiative dedicated to preserving the testimony of Holocaust survivors as a way to prevent the reoccurrence of one of the most horrific chapters in world history. And whereas the event at the Capitol is sponsored by the Global Embassy of Activists for Peace under the leadership of Dr. William Soto Santiago, who has devoted his life to creating a more just, tolerant, and inclusive society. And whereas the Capitol ceremony will feature the testimony of Holocaust survivor Leon Horn and the presentation of the nation's first Traces to Remember commemorative plaque, a bronze Star of David with a handprint of a Holocaust survivor, his son, and his grandson. And whereas Traces to Remember has played a vital role to promoting respect for human dignity and in preserving the history of the men and women who suffered under the totalitarian rule of Nazi regime. It is truly fitting that this exceptional program receive recognition. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Senate of the State of Texas, 84th Legislature, hereby commend the Traces to Remember project on its efforts to ensure that the horrors of the Holocaust are not forgotten, and extend to all participants best wishes for a memorable ceremony at the Capitol, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be prepared to honor this special events. In closing, may I share some prayers for peace. Make us worthy, Lord, to serve our fellow man throughout the world who live and die in poverty and hunger. Give them through our hands this day their daily bread, and by our understanding love, give peace and joy. Mother Teresa. Violence, never again. War, never again. Terrorism, never again. In God's name, may all religions bring upon earth justice and peace, forgiveness, life, and love. Pope John Paul II. And may I add the following, that God help us create a culture of love and understanding to replace any culture of hate that exists in our world. God bless us all. Thank you.